Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
This past weekend, we saw The Conjuring 2.
Yep.
We didn't see it together, though.
No.
Usually we see the movies together, but this time we saw them separately because I think you promised your mom you'd see it with her. And
yeah, my mom and my dad, because they like those movies.
You saw it with your parents. I saw it with my girlfriend. And I had a really interesting experience watching The Conjuring 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know how your experience was.
Another bad crowd?
My crowd was so bad it was good. Like, it made the experience a little bit more fun watching the movie because it was a really vocal crowd. But not vocal in the sense of, like, how you gonna fight an orc with no shoes?
Like they were enjoying the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. My crowd was very quiet, and it was a very nice experience.
Okay.
I mean, like, you know, when stuff happened, you would hear a, you know what I mean? But
okay, so The Conjuring 2... the follow-up to what I think is probably one of the better horror movies that's come out recently.
I say better mainstream.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying the best horror movie to come out recently. I'm saying one of the better horror movies that's come out in, like, the past few years.
Yeah.
Because the horror genre has been really saturated because everybody just wants to cash in on low-budget, high-reward. Mm-hmm. So, I would say The Conjuring is definitely one of the better, you know, one of the top tier horror movies of, like, recent memory. This was a pretty decent follow-up.
It was. I really enjoyed it. There's so many scenes that worked. And, let's start off with our letter grade, actually. What would you give it?
For me, I'd give it an A-.
Okay.
Out of 10, I'd probably say, because I do better with number ratings, I'd probably say, like, an 8.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like an 8, 7.5 if I had to think a little bit more critically about it.
Okay.
So...
letter grade for me, the first Conjuring is an A+. This one...
Oh, you're talking about the first one.
No. I'm just kind of comparing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just comparing. Just curious. What would you give the first one, anyways?
An A+.
Okay. Yeah. Letter grade for me. The first one is an A+. The second one is an A.
Okay.
I really like this movie. Actually, when I first saw it, and I left, I was like, yeah, it's a B. It's good. And I'm the kind of person where it has to sink in.
Yeah.
And it sunk in, and I'm like, this is actually a really good movie.
Typically, for me, the longer I think about movies, the worse they get. But I
for me,
feel
it's the
like
opposite, yeah.
if I had a different experience watching this movie as opposed to, like, if I didn't have such a vocal crowd, and if going into it, my girlfriend didn't know as much about the story, because if, you know, for those of you who don't know, this is actually based on a true story.
Yeah, what was the story, where did it took place in London, England?
Right.
England?
Yeah, it was in, I can't remember the exact name of the town, but it was over in England.
Do you remember the name of the incident?
I can't even...
Enfield?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't come up with it right now.
It's one of the most documented paranormal things ever. And you know, if you believe in that, it's good for you. If you don't, good for you. It was just a good movie.
Yeah, but going into it, you know, my girlfriend, not that she, like, spoiled any of the story for me, but, like, she had seen the original, like, documentary about it, so, like, she knew a lot about it, and no, but she enjoyed the movie.
No, but there's a documentary about it?
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. It's
creepy. She had seen the documentary, so she was really excited because she's like, hey, I'm going into a horror movie actually knowing, you know, where it's going to go. That's going to be different for me. So I was like, well, this will be an interesting experience because it's like you and me watching Preacher. So it's like she knows where the story goes, and I'm sitting there, like, on the outside looking in. So it was a really interesting experience, and having such a vocal crowd kind of ruined it, but at the same time also kind of made it more fun.
Right.
I wasn't going into this movie to have fun. I was going into it for the atmosphere. So the crowd kind of completely took that away from me.
Damn it, crowd.
But I have to admit, when the scares came, the crowd really, like, made it better for me in a way. Because there was one point, I think it was the first time you see, like, that creepy nun demon, or like when it comes out at her like from the painting, the girl directly behind me just let out this blood-curdling scream because she was so terrified.
Jesus.
So that got me, not like it made me scared, but I was like, I wasn't expecting that. So like, I fucking jumped out of my skin. So I would say for me, a lot of the scares came from the fact that other people were so scared around me. Because typically horror movies don't really like make me jumpy or nervous.
Me neither.
I don't ever really feel, paranoid after the movie.
Because we've seen a lot.
Exactly.
We've seen a lot, so it doesn't really faze us.
Right. So this crowd really made it, an interesting experience for me. Although there was one scare that did make me jump that I kind of wasn't expecting. It was when the husband is in the basement and he's turning
with the water? Yeah. That was good.
And it jumps out and grabs the
mom.
Yeah, it grabs the mother. That shit made me jump. Because I was expecting it to go after him because they kept setting it up that he was going to die in the basement. So when it went and attacked her, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
I wish she opened up her mouth more. She was like, what is that? I'm like, open up your mouth. What is that? What the fuck do you think it is? The thing you've been dealing with for a week, 2 weeks.
Another really high point of this movie, I would say, the little girl that was being haunted and possessed gave a really good performance for her age.
The Conjuring has a record now of casting really good child actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if James Wan scares the shit out of him, often, just on the side.
I don't know, dude, but James Wan really has.
He has a talent.
Yeah, he understands horror. He knows how to get into people's heads.
Yep.
And
he knows what the F he's doing.
Exactly. He really knows how to masterfully tell a creepy and I don't know what. Thrilling, I guess, is probably the word. Suspenseful story. That's what I was trying to say. He knows how to tell a really suspenseful story that kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. You can pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. That.
Stop.
Did you not like that?
It scared me. Okay, so I was thinking about it all week, after I saw Conjuring 2. I love The Conjuring. Okay, so I use this metaphor, and this is the best way to describe The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring is like your beautiful fiance that you love, and, she came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. You guys love each other, and she gives you the thrills.
Right.
You
get the butterflies in the
stomach. You get the butterflies in the stomach, exactly. The Conjuring 2 is like your fiance's hot sister.
Interesting.
Wait, I'm not done.
I want to know where this is going.
She comes in. She's really hot. But
she's not your wife.
She's not your wife. Exactly. So
you want to see more of her, but you feel dirty for watching her.
Exactly. Both are awesome.
Yeah.
But you love your wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're really committed to your wife.
Yeah, you're committed to your wife. That's why I think that Conjuring 2 is maybe a millimeter or a milli-inch, I don't know math.
I get what you're
right
saying.
below. Right there below.
Because I don't think I'm not saying that there isn't a perfect movie, but I hardly, if ever, give out 10 out of 10s. Mm-hmm. So if, for me, The Conjuring is a 9, The Conjuring 2, I'm starting to think about it, like I said, I gave it an 8.
Right.
So it's one step below. Mm-hmm. So, it's definitely a good follow-up.
Yeah.
It had me on the edge of my seat. The audience kind of, took some of the experience away from me, but I had a really good time watching this movie.
Right.
And I would say if you haven't seen The Conjuring 2, or if you haven't seen either of them, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching those movies.
You really are.
Because that there is, to me, quintessential modern horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think that some people are going to be like, oh, it's very cliche. It's a very cliche movie. Yeah, it's I admit, you know where it's gonna go,
Right.
But I think it's the people have been describing it as it's the it's the craftsmanship
Right.
of the movie. You know what I mean? Like it's well made. That's the
Right.
best way to describe it. You can tell he put his heart and soul into it. For instance, I thought this was interesting to mention. I don't know if you've seen it. I think I told you about it. The Cricket Man is an actor.
Wait, that was an actual.
The
Crooked Man was actually real?
James Wan said that is an actual actor.
See, I was gonna say this whole time I was waiting to like bring it up. I thought that was kind of a cheesy CG effect.
Me too. I thought it was like
watching the
when
movie,
I saw
it was like the one downside. That's
Me
why I was
too.
saying like if I had to lean one way or the other, I'd probably lean more towards a 7.5 if I had to downgrade. Because, there are some things that just kind of didn't work, and for me it was the Crooked Man. Not that like
it was a good effect. It was just really left field.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love effects like that too. Well, it's not a fucking effect.
Yeah,
It's an actor.
Honestly,
that's amazing.
You saying that is enough to like make me want to go see it again, just so I can like.
It's I don't know what he did. James Wan literally said it's all camera work. It's an actor. He swears on
that's
it.
Pretty.
It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's an actor. One of my favorite scares was the definitely the nun.
Yeah.
That was pretty damn good. When the daughter pointed it out, that whole sequence was really good.
Yeah,
with the
man.
shadow work and everything, and that was cool.
When it was just like you see the shadows just walking along the wall up to the painting, and then just jumps out. That was like, if there's anything that like really, because like I said, I don't get jumpy or like scared all too often watching horror movies, but like that's the closest you're coming to outright just making me feel scared.
Well, even the lighting he used, like when she was standing and behind her was the painting, and you just saw the eyes and stuff. That was pretty damn creepy too. And she's gonna turn on the light. You're like, is it the painting or is it the
right?
Or is it the
is it the actual demon?
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite scares from it was I thought, before I forget, I'm probably gonna talk about this a lot. My favorite scene, which really bumped it to an A grade for me, was when Ed Warren had to talk to the old man demon.
Oh, right.
What a good scene.
Yeah.
That was and he had to turn away, and the old, the girl was out of focus, and he changed into the old man.
That was really well done.
If I watch a movie and I say to myself, how the frick did he do that? That's really good.
Yeah, that was actually really, really well done.
Yeah.
That shit, like, I was watching, I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I want to see that or if that's what's actually going on the screen, but like I feel like that's not a little girl anymore.
You saw the old, you saw his jaw
right.
move up and down. I like what he said too. I only seen it once. I have to see it again, but when he was like, Edward.
Eddie, Edward.
It was like, I would have ran.
That was actually pulled directly from the actual recordings.
Ooh.
Yeah, they played the real recording in the credits.
Like I ran out.
You left like as soon as
they were showing the photos and they were doing recording.
I actually stuck around for a little bit.
I was like, no, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend stuck around for a little bit until like the actual just scrolling text came on the screen.
Eddie, Edward. That was great. And the TV scene was good too.
Yeah.
When she was slapping the TV and then it went clear and
then
you just saw him sitting in the chair. That works because he doesn't.
He's not blatant with jump scares.
There was jump scares, but they were effective and they worked.
Right.
Like it wasn't like
because they gave you enough time to see what was coming, but you still didn't expect
exactly. Like I wasn't expecting the whole him sitting down. Like like in a stupid horror movie today, she would smack the TV would go blank, and you would hear like a cat or some bullshit. And damn it, what a good movie, man!
It was so good.
It was super good. I highly recommend it. if
And it was an interesting little nod to Annabelle at the end.
yeah, I wanted to talk about what you said earlier. I think it was you. The crooked man having his own movie. Don't fucking do that.
No.
Please don't do that.
I do not
He
want
works in small doses. The crooked man is...
Yeah, I did say that.
You did, right?
Not that I said he should have his own movie, but there was something that happened and it like looked like a weird crooked man kind of thing.
I'll tell you what, man. When I have a kid, I'm gonna show him this movie.
Yeah. My dad
chase him in the hallway.
My dad did this really fucked up thing. One of the first times like we went camping, he brought like a portable DVD player with us, and he put on the first Friday the 13th for me and my cousin, and we all watched it.
How old were you?
I was probably like 12.
Oh, okay, it's not bad.
It's not too bad, but like you put Friday the 13th on while we're camping. That shit, I couldn't sleep that night. And you wonder why it took me a long time to get around to actually enjoying horror movies. But yeah, this one, it's up there.
Now, here's what I'm kind of upset about. I highly doubt James Wan will be coming back.
Probably not. I don't see him doing another Conjuring.
Because after the first Conjuring... I think it was after the first Conjuring or second Insidious, he was like, yeah, I'm done with horror. And then Warner Brothers, or whoever, ran the movie, basically was like, we're going to hold off to get him. Like, let's wait till he's done making They waited till he finished making Fast and the Furious.
Right.
Because we were supposed to get this earlier.
Okay.
And they were like, no, we're going to wait for him because we want him to do it. We want him to... The guy has a talent, man.
Yeah,
the guy has a super good... Saw was good.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Silence, fine.
He made Dead Silence?
He made that, yeah.
Oh, shit.
He made
okay.
Dead Silence. It was okay.
That's passable.
It was good. I can't think of anything else. The first Conjuring, Insidious.
Yeah, he did.
Insidious one I like.
He didn't do the second one, though, right?
No, he did. He did, yeah.
Oh.
But you know what's funny is that Conjuring and Insidious came out the same year, within months of each other, and you can tell where he put his heart at.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, I give it an A. I highly recommend it to a horror fan. If you like a good thrill,
I definitely recommend it to the general audience. If you're looking for something to get you into the horror genre, this is probably a good place to start. Even if you haven't seen the first one, this one it's its own standalone story outside of the first Conjuring.
Exactly. Movie. And one last thing, and I'm done. The reason why this movie works is because you have good characters, you have good acting, you have characters you actually care about too.
Right.
Like Ed Warren and
between nowadays.
Yes. Like the Warrens it was also a kind of a love movie too when you think about it. Yeah. They worked perfectly together.
Yeah. What is it? Patrick Wilson and
Vera
Farmiga.
She's great, man. She's great.
Chemistry.
She was good at Orphan, The Departed. She's really attractive too.
She's actually really good on Bates Motel too. If you that.
She plays his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's super good. But that's the reason why this horror movie works. It's good characters in a horror setting.
Right.
That's what makes it work. That's why The Exorcist worked. Technically, it was a drama with a backdrop of horror.
Right.
That's why,
It doesn't have to be blatant horror.
Exactly, like in your face.
It can be its own story with horror elements.
Exactly. And this movie...
treads that line very well.
Yeah. And this movie is... The intro is the best Amityville horror movie.
Yeah.
It is... that's the last thing I'm going to say. This intro... is better than all the Amityville horror movies combined, in my opinion. Because I don't really like the original that much.
I've only seen the first one. I didn't bother to watch any of the millions of other ones that came out after.
And the fourth one, there was a haunted lamp. I'll leave it at a lamp or whatever. I'll leave it at that. But anyways, definitely
way
go
better
see
than
it.
a haunted lamp.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, actually, I think that's where we're gonna cut this show this week.
Yeah.
And for those of you who were wondering where the comic book segment is, we're actually starting a new show, which has been picked up by Squabblebox.co.uk, which is pretty big news for us. You know, we've been at this for, you know, about a month.
About a month, right?
About a month now,
right.
and somebody felt the kindness to offer us a spot on their website. So our new show, which should we announce the name?
Yep, let's announce the name.
Our new show, where we'll be covering comic books exclusively, is called Stuck in the Long Box, and you can find it over at squabblebox.co.uk. So that's where we'll be doing our pull list from now on.
Yep.
All right, so we'll check in with you guys next week. And if you want to hear even more of us, you can check us out on Squabblebox. Later, guys.